to Facts from the Farm. Today we have a special guest here. It's Matt Davis from Pioneer. I'm so excited to have him here. He's going to be covering the curriculum of seeds and plant life. So we're going to talk about soil, seeds, growing, and we're even going to cover some equipment today. So Matt, what do you do?
So my job is to be I'm a territory manager with Pioneer. So I work with growers all over my part of the world, and we help them to grow the best crop they can to feed the cows that you need to feed.
Perfect. So the first thing we need to talk about is the soil that we plant in,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
So why is the soil important?
So do you know the difference? What's the difference between dirt and soil?
I know my son's 6th grade teacher says that never call soil dirt. Do not walk in my classroom and call it dirt at all. So why?
So when your kids come home, do they have soil on their pants that they've gotten dirty, or do they have dirt
They
on
look
their
pretty
pants?
dirty.
Okay, so the difference between dirt and soil. Dirt is something that makes a mess and is on you. Soil is actually a living environment.
We just talked about living and non-living.
Non-living and living environment.
Yes.
That's something that you already learned. So today the opportunity here is to learn, why is soil a living environment? So I thought we'd bring a shovel today, and we'd take a little shovel full of soil and see what we find in it. So try to get in here as good as I can. It's a little wet today, so it's a little hard to dig. So right here, as I dig, one of the things I see if I can get him out of here without hurting him. Oh, we got 2 of them.
Yeah.
Those are 2 worms.
So are worms important to soil?
Worms are extremely important to the soil, especially when the soil is really wet. The worms are creating holes in the soil to help the water move down and through the soil and get away from the top of the soil. So worms are one part of the environment that are in there. The other thing you'll see in this soil as we look down here is what was planted here before was probably some corn, and there's some other things here. So we have roots and soil and things in the soil. So those are part of the living environment of the soil, is those roots being in the soil, as well as lots of microbes and insects. Insects don't just live above the ground, they live below the ground too. So you can find white grubs and lots of different kinds.
So you said the soil is living. It has to grow to be living.
Yep.
Is it growing?
So is the soil growing? So soil is comprised of the particles of the soil that are there, the roots that are growing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the roots are a growing organism. This time of the year, I love spring. Spring is the best part of the year. We've got things starting to turn green and grow. They're not just growing above the ground, they're growing below the ground in the soil and part of the soil.
Is it reproducing?
Well, the soil itself is helping reproduce because there's organisms and microorganisms in that soil that help break down nutrients and make that nutrients available to the plant. So soil in itself is an environment, and a growing environment, where there are a lot of living things in that soil.
And it needs nutrients.
And it needs nutrients to grow. So as we put manure or fertilizer on the soil, we're enriching that environment for that seed to grow here in the springtime as we get started.
Perfect. So what's the next step?
Next step is the seed, right? You gotta look at the seed.
All right. So Matt, we know we need good soil to grow plants, correct?
Yep.
So are the plants just going to show up on their own?
Right, so this field was planted approximately a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Again, I love spring. I love the opportunity to see things that are growing and starting to get to grow. So this being planted a couple weeks ago, it's early spring, it's really wet, so these plants are starting to grow. Should we dig in the soil and see if we can see if there's plants in there ready to grow?
I would love to. Do we just
All right.
dig wherever, or do you think there's a certain spot that you know that they're going to grow in?
So the most important part that I do when I go out is we can find where that spot is by looking down the field, and I can see the trail where the planter went. And we'll take a chance to look at the planter a little bit later today, right, Melinda?
Yes, absolutely.
So let's go ahead and dig here. We'll dig in this row. We can see where there's a crack here right in the center of the row. So let's go ahead and dig there and see if we can find any seeds. Oh, look, there's one right there at the top. Oh, there's another one. See, there's 2 right here, and there's 1 here. So the planter put those in that spot as it was going down the row, and you can see there's some additional ones here, right at the top of the soil. So let's pop one of these out of here. We're in spring, obviously, so we don't have big plants, but we do have this seed has started to grow. This is his root as he's starting to grow, and as a soybean grows as a broadleaf, these seed heads will pop right out of the soil, and they will be the first things that come out of the soil.
So that's the root. What
So
do we
that's
call
the
this
root.
process?
This is called germination. So this seed has germinated and it's ready to grow.
Okay, Matt, so on our farm, we have to grow our crops for our cows, correct?
Correct.
So we actually grow 4 different kinds of crops here at Swissling Farms. So do they all take the same seed?
So they're all different seeds. So all the crops that we grow are different seeds. And we decided to go ahead and get examples of all those seeds here for you to look at today. So the 4 crops that are mainly used here are corn, soybeans, alfalfa, and oats.
Oats.
Are the 3 main components that we use a lot here. So if you would like to take a look, we have a few different seeds for you to look at. So as you look here, we'll point to the different ones. Melinda, which one do you think that is?
I know it's corn because I heard you talking about it earlier.
Oh, yep, that's probably corn. What do you think that one is?
Is that the soybeans?
Yep, that's soybeans. These little tiny seeds,
They're so small.
they're the tiniest seed that you plant on this whole farm.
That's the alfalfa.
That is the alfalfa, you're right.
That must be the oats.
This must be your oat seed, yep. Notice that they're all colored.
Yeah, they're very pretty.
Aren't they kind of cool?
I don't eat pink corn though.
Probably not a good idea to add anything that has the color it isn't just normally to be. So as you see these different colors, that's a coating that we in the seed company put on the seed to help that seed.
Does it affect the plant when it's full grown?
So just like when a mom goes and is taking care of a baby and goes to the hospital and the doctors work really hard to take care of and make sure that that baby is safe in the environment, that is what we're doing with these seed treatments. These seed treatments, as we put them in the ground, help that seed, that baby, survive through some of the bad things that are in the soil. So there are things that are hard on seeds in the soil, and there's things that are helpful in the soil, like the fertilizer and some of the organisms that are in the soil are helpful for the plants, but there are some that are negative.
There's some
So
bad bugs and
So there's some bad bugs, like
Yes.
white grubs like to eat these seeds. So if we let the white grubs or anything else eat these seeds, we would have less of these seeds growing on the farm. How do you think that would impact us, Mom?
then we wouldn't have enough food to feed our cows.
That's exactly right. So our goal is that every one of those seeds grow. Let's say half of those seeds grow and not all of them grow. What would we have to change in the farm to make that work? Well, if we had half the seeds grow, we would have half the feed, right? So we would need almost double the number of acres to get the feed that we need to still feed the cows. So wasn't there a lesson on economics?
Yes.
Oh, that economics piece.
And Amy also did a Did You Know on Earth Day about having less cows and more milk from them.
Oh, so if we have to take double the number of acres to supply that seed, that's more money that it would cost to do that to feed those cows, which would not help us, and also would take more ground to make that work.
More water.
More water, more nutrients, more everything. So it's really important that we work together to make sure every one of those seeds grow.
So when this corn is full grown, is that protective layer going to affect the corn at all when we feed it to the cows?
That's a very good question. That little tiny bit of seed treatment is only impacting the seed and its little environment around it. So it has no impact at all on the corn plant as it gets up and going.
So it's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
Wonderful. We talked about the life cycle of a seed, correct, into a plant.
Yep.
So we already saw how the seed started to germinate and it showed us the root, correct?
Yep.
So what's the next step?
So that was a soybean plant. You saw the roots starting to come up. So we thought we'd just show you the corn plant. Obviously, it's too early in spring to get you a good visual of a corn plant because we've not planted it yet. And so just give you a quick view of what it is. So when we plant this seed, here's your ground, here's the seed. First thing that's going to come out is that root system is going to come out. Because why does it need the root system, do you think?
Does it help feed it, the nutrients?
Yep. So that's what helps starting to get the nutrients and feeding it.
But it does something else too, doesn't it?
It also brings in more water. And
Does
all
it
the nutrients.
kind of anchor? Is it like a boat anchor? Kind of helps it?
This root won't anchor, but later roots will.
Okay.
So good question. And then the next thing that'll happen is that a shoot will come out. So here's your shoot coming into the soil, and once it hits sunlight, it's going to open up to accept the sunlight, which is where your leaves come into play.
So that's like the stem, right?
this
And
is
what's the
your
purpose of the stem?
Your stem is to bring your nutrients into the rest of the plant.
And what do the leaves do?
So the leaves are what we use to bring in all of the oxygen. We're going to take carbon dioxide out, and we're going to make oxygen. And so this is helping, it needs the environment to help it continue to grow.
Is it helping the environment?
It is helping the environment. We need oxygen, right?
Yes.
So we need plants to make that oxygen for us. So not only are we feeding our cows with it, but we're also providing positive things in the environment.
So if we didn't have plants, we wouldn't have a healthy climate.
Correct.
Very good. And then will it start over again? Does it do like a whole life cycle of it?
So what this plant will do is it'll grow up, it'll pollinate itself, and it'll create an ear. We'll harvest that whole plant, and then next year we'll start over by planting seeds all over again.
Good.
I want to thank Matt from Pioneer for coming and helping us with this. He taught me a ton, and I hope he taught you guys a lot too. So thank you, Matt, for coming.
You're welcome, and I hope you all learned something today.
And we'll see you at the next Facts from the Farm.